And we're off. Finally. What is up, everybody? You get rusty or something? We are, maybe there's something different. Always complicated business, folks. Complicated business. It is 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. Pardon the 30, 45 seconds, however long that was, of silence and blackness. Black screen. Dark. Silence. Black. You should do that, though. You should be in quiet. It's Thursday, June 8th, 2023 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. And we're gonna have a fun show, maybe, right? Sometimes we do. The New York City's pretty smoky. Is it true? Is it really that smoky and orange? Oh my goodness. And it's from Canada, and I saw some Canada footage. If you're going to be watching the video footage here, you will, how's the sound quality? Let me just double check. You will be impressed. You're going to be watching the video footage? Nice. Okay. Picture's good. And audio is coming through on Odyssey. So crazy. I have some stuff that I'm going to read from The Atlantic. They covered the inside the meltdown at CNN. Chris Licht. I should have looked up his name, how to pronounce his name. Chris Licht. That man. He was fired after about 13 months, just over a year. And I think the final straw, it looks like the final straw was his platforming of Trump and the Trump MAGA crowd dominating the town hall over that lady with his lies, which I, of course, disavowed Trump's lies for the sake of my channels, because truth and independent thinking and free speech are not entirely allowed on these commie capitalist platforms. By the way, rest in peace to Pat Robertson. I'll tell you a little bit about him. Some stuff that I learned about him by reading a little bit about him. Pat Robertson died. He's a Christian Coalition guy. Ever heard of Christian Coalition? Maybe not. But those who are older, Gen X, or older millennials, or boomers, or older than that, they know about him. He ran for president. And so he died at 93. Rest in peace, man. He also did CBN. He founded CBN, not to be confused with TBN. TBN is Trinity Broadcasting Network. CBN is Christian Broadcasting Network. CBN, greater than TBN, I say. But there was a dead raccoon, and they violated and oppressed and infringed upon our language and First Amendment so much you can't even say what the short word for raccoon at a mayor's office at a mostly white, 90% white. That's not white enough, maybe. Town called Redmond, Oregon, with the name of some black city councilman. And who did it? Who did that? Was it the only other fellow black at the... Or was it a racist white? Give me a break. Daniel Penny says that he thought that Jordan Neely, the subway rider, the Michael Jackson impersonator, the mentally ill, potentially violent, trash-throwing, threatening homeless bum could have killed somebody, he says. Daniel Penny. That's the Marine, the subway hero, according to some of you guys. The murderer of the black just for riding while black, according to others who are also taking sides and silly. But, yeah, crazy. All that and some other stuff, perhaps, and your calls, if you would like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's Hake report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Yeah, I have a nice dark background. It's really dark. But I like it. That's actually how dark I had to make it because it was so vivid in prior days, okay? So I was doing the trial and error thing, and then our resident technical man, engineer, Bill, fixed the TV. Now it's all messed up. But I like it. I like it dark like that. It's probably really what it looked like. Beautiful beach scene. Santa Monica. There's no T. Santa Monica. Mother of St. Augustine, I heard. Somebody said that. Oh, and by the way, at least I stand out better. People are saying, is Hake extra white? I am wearing my Unapologetic American Patriot t-shirt. I mess with this mic stand so much. Maybe I shouldn't touch it. I bought this Unapologetic American Patriot t-shirt. By the way, you can get your Get a Job stickers. Back when they were going after George Zimmerman all hard for killing that Trayvon Martin, which I disavow killing unless it's in self-defense, of course, or, justified. And that case was self-defense and justified. But people to this day are calling it murder. So evil. And he was tried for murder. What a joke. New York City smog air vibes, says Hassan of this TV background. Yeah. Except there's some blue. There should not be any blue. But anyway. Okay, let's get right into this. Speaking of the smoggy air, smoky air, did you know that smog is smoke plus fog? That's what I learned as a kid. Sick! Is this real? Clip 11. This is B-roll. Well, not exactly B-roll. You hear some stuff. Footage. Todd Starnes shared this saying, "Are you sure it's not all the pot smoking in Manhattan?" So roll it. Here's clip 11 of the smoky skies. And it's all like orange. There's some, what is that, Brooklyn Bridge? Who knows? I don't know anything. Some just orange, can't hardly see, hazy, smoky, I guess you would call it. And some beautiful foliage. Or is it foliage or foliage? Foliage. Background is amazing today. Thank you, Esoteric. I appreciate it. So here's an update from Fox News, faux news, on the wildfires update and the smokiness from clip 12. In the Matrix, 3 X's shared this. Nice little update for what's going on. It looks like all of Canada is on fire. I remember there were crazy fires in Australia, I think, a few years back. And they made it look like most of Australia was on fire. That's what they did to Canada right here. Check it out. Little news. Oh, no. That's the clip 13, I guess. Okay, well, that's okay. We'll look at this. Look at the fires. Look at that fire. Silent footage of smoke. Awesome black, gray, white smoke. Awesome fires. Awesome trees. Nature. Who knew Canada was so beautiful? I've been to Canada before. Cool, huh? Fires in Canada threaten tens of millions of people, according to Jurek Zlatko. Awesome scene. Eastern United States, including New York, have already warned residents about poor air quality, according to The Guardian. Forests in Canada burning at a rapid pace, more than 10 times the average area burned this year, according to Wall Street Journal Rhino outlet. Citing the country's Department of Environment and Climate Change. Oh, Lord, Canada. You make me want to spit. Then again, so does Americant. Earlier, it became known that because of the fires, the air in New York had become the dirtiest in the world. Wow. Point Fire was speculating, Point Fire in the chat during Hake News yesterday, I want to say it was. He was speculating that it was arson, that there had been no like electrical storms in the area to spark fires, so it was arson, according to him. And I don't know if that may be speculation, assumption. I remember people were saying, oh, ISIS is starting fires in America several years back. ISIS, remember ISIS, the Muslim radicals? Other people today were saying it was Jewish people starting fires. Crazy. Do I have the clip in the folder of the other one? Let me see. I'll have to check. Am I ill prepared? Did I name it wrong? Oh, yeah, clip 13. I got it backwards. Clip 13 is the wildfires update from Fox News shared by In the Matrix. That B-roll footage of the awesome footage was Jurek _Zlatko. DJURIC _ZLATKO. With the just awesome scenery. Wow. But anyway, here's the Fox News update. Here it is.
Dana, this situation is unlike something that we have experienced in 40 years for a lot of us, especially in the Northeast. This is what's going on right now. So we have 233 active wildfires burning all across Canada. So that's equating to 9.4 million acres burned so far. And all of that thick smoke, it's coming straight down from the north all the way down into the south into the Northeast, which yesterday equated to New York City seeing the worst air quality.
Excuse me. I didn't do that on it's not a gag. Excuse me. I'm choking. I'm choking just thinking about it. No, but the update on the air quality is it's going to push further south. Maryland, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, even Virginia, huh? Washington, D.C. So be careful over there. Be careful. Thanks a lot, Canada. For once we can blame them about something. Anyway, so that's the update on that. Oh, how was the clip volume? I'm just curious. People with the sensitive ears who know that it was a touch loud. Hake inhaled, yeah. Eco-arsonists. Yeah, it might be. Okay, so let me tell you about CNN, Commie Nonsense Network, my favorite morning update source for Hake news. Not fake news, even though CNN is very fake news. Here's even worse fake news. The far-left extremist outlet, the Atlantic. Inside the meltdown at CNN. A 15,000-word, quote-unquote, report. 15,000 words. Normally, an article is like 1,500, 800 words. Hake News is about 600 words, sometimes more like 500. So that gives you like this is like an hour and 33 minutes to listen to this long article. The more you write, the less you look like you know what you're talking about. Is that what they say? That's what my black African-American history teacher taught me at Pasadena City College. Shout out to Pete Mhunzi. Excellent teacher. But, yeah, I know, like these bills that are like thousands of pages, Obamacare and other long bills, should have just been like one-liner. Anyway, it shouldn't even have it. And I have the archive. I'll share, I guess, the archive link in the chat because they're silly and they are, I don't know, hopefully I don't get dinged for that. They're silly and they're possessive. They think that we should pay for their content. Should we pay for their content? I don't know. What value do they provide but to get mocked and laughed at on the Hake report? And that's not very valuable, is it? Anyway, Tim Alberta wrote this article way back on June 2nd, which is like a week ago. A little bit less maybe. 2023 AD. Editor's note, on June 7th, 2023 AD, they leave out the AD, Anno Domini, because they're atheists. They're anti-God. This is the Atlantic. They prop up black writers. 5 days after this article was published, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner Brothers and Discovery, they merged apparently. I didn't know that. And because Warner Brothers is something, and then Discovery is something, and they merged and became Warner Brothers Discovery. What a stupid name for a company. But the CEO of that stupid-sounding named company was able to fire Chris Licht, Licht, L-I-C-H-T. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. He would be leaving, well, he wasn't fired. He's leaving CNN immediately. Maybe he was fired. So I just want to show you guys, or read to you guys, some interesting... It starts off talking about Trump. Isn't that interesting? They can't stop loving and writing him and respecting and writing about our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Truth teller extraordinaire. Am I right? So here, 7th or 11th paragraph down, depending on how you count, like conversational one-line quotes. For 70 minutes in Manchester, the former president overpowered, wow, nice, CNN's moderator, Caitlin Collins. Remember Caitlin Collins? Mildly attractive gal, right? I'm not a fan. With a continuous blast of distortion, hyperbole, and lies. That's what they say about Trump. That's what you guys do. Distortion, hyperbole, lies, speculation. He does it for the truth. You do it to deceive. The audience of Trump devotees delighted in his aggression toward Caitlin Collins. They use her last name. If it's a woman, you're supposed to use her first name. Caitlin. Because Collins, it sounds like a dude. Cheering him on so loudly and so purposefully that what began as a journalistic forum, journalistic meaning far-left extremist propaganda of distortion, speculation, and assumption, devolved into WWE. Anybody a fan? I used to call it WWF when I was a kid, because that's what it was called. World Wrestling Federation. Now it's called World Wrestling Entertainment. They changed it recently. By recently, I mean in the 90s. WWE match before the first voter asked a question. And the voters asked pretty good questions, I will have you know. I was listening to some of it during American Anchor Baby, who was streaming at that point, before his stream got cut off. Seems to happen a lot to that man. They're gunning for the Anchor Baby. Vince McMahon himself could not have written a juicier script. Trump was the heroic brawler, loathed by the establishment, loved by the masses, trying to reclaim a title wrongly taken from him, while Collins, Caitlin Collins, they mean, standing in for the villainous elites who dared to question the protagonist's virtue, she didn't just question it, she accused him of lying and stuff, was cast as the heel. She's not very nice, Trump said, told the studio audience, pointing toward Collins, Caitlin Collins, he means, while she stood just off stage during the first commercial break. Nice, huh? Always will be WWF. Thank you, Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong. Always be WWF to me. Or did Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong say that? Oh, Brian Denham says that. Thank you, Brian. Oh, yeah, both of you guys said it. Great minds think alike. On two different platforms, they said the same thing. Hey. Trump could be excused for thinking this was exactly what this man who's getting kicked out of CNN wanted. Licht. I shouldn't waste time trying to pronounce his name when I'm just guessing the whole time. Chris Licht wanted. Trump could be excused for thinking that's what he wanted. The famously transactional ex-president, Chris Licht, he used to be I forget what he was. Let me look in the archive and it'll tell me. He used to work as I forget what he was. Doesn't even matter. Like late night show producer, right? Successful late night show producer, I guess. Anyway, famously transactional ex-president had wondered aloud to his top aides during negotiations with CNN executive. Oh, ex-president. Oh, they're talking about President Trump. During negotiations with CNN executives, what the network stood to gain from this production. When CNN made the decision to stock the auditorium with Republicans, the only thing Trump could figure was that Licht wanted a prime-time spectacle to resuscitate the network's moribund, whatever that is. These people with their big words, journalists, makes me want to spit with using their big words. There's one guy who's like really a liberal, and he uses big words even with JLP. He's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And he uses big words, but it comes off as that's just his vocabulary, just his natural vocabulary. What's his name? Michael Tracy. Tracey, Michael Tracy. And he uses all these big words, but it comes out natural for him. Maybe it's because he's been trained that way. The two men spoke only briefly backstage. Have fun, Chris Licht told our greatest president, Trump, and Trump obliged. He demeaned the woman. Listen to this. He demeaned the woman, E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll demeans herself. And I like her, too, by the way. How can you not like E. Jean Carroll with her crazy, lost eyes and thinking that, well, telling the truth, the unspoken truth that many of her kind think the R word ends in ape, is the S word ends in exy. Don't say that, kids. She thinks she said something that was true. I think it's true. I've heard that people think that especially her kind think that rape is sexy. Sorry, kids. Don't say that. Ladies, gentlemen, whom a jury one day earlier than from this beautiful Trump town hall, CNN, one day earlier, a jury, did they specify what type of jury? Was it a Manhattan jury? Was it a D.C. jury? Was it some New York City type jury? Found him liable for sexually abusing. Sorry, kids. Too explicit. Sorry, ladies. Forgive me, ladies. I'm not sorry, but pardon me. He repeated disproved fictions about election fraud. Blip. Odd. And I disavow all fictions about the election for the sake of my channel. And suggested that he would separate families at the southern border again if given the chance. Nice. Because they're not real families. A family is a married father and mother with their children. And a real family wouldn't come up and try to invade our country or impose on our country or leech off of our country, whatever you want to call it. Not to dehumanize them. We know they're human. Just because I use the term leech doesn't mean I don't know that they're human. For the sake of my channel. You know, the illegals. He repeated disproved fictions about that, said that he would do that. He insulted Caitlin Collins. Please. Calling her a nasty person. That's not an insult. I mean, he's describing her. Anyway, as the crowd hissed in agreement, at one point when she and Trump assumed their marks on stage after another commercial break, Caitlin Collins politely reminded him not to step past the giant red CNN logo in front of them. Trump responded by gesturing as though he might stomp on it. The crowd roared in approval. Nice. That's funny, Trump. Isn't that cool? See, this is why I like Trump, because he's normal. He believed that, okay, so going back to Chris Licht, skipping ahead a little bit, stop me if I'm going too long, guys. I don't know how you're going to stop me, but stop me if I'm going too long. He believed that Trump owed his initial political ascent. This is Chris Licht, that Tim Alberta, the writer for the far-left extremist The Atlantic, thinks that that Chris Licht believed that Trump owed his initial political ascent in part to the media's habit of marginalizing conservatives' views and Republican voters. Yes, indeed. You guys aren't very Christian, nor very white-friendly, nor very man-friendly, nor very unborn baby-friendly. Not very Christian. That needed to change ahead of 2024, so Chris Licht wasn't scared to bring a bunch of MAGA enthusiasts onto his set. He had remarked to his deputies in the days before the town hall about the extra Trumpy makeup of the crowd CNN was expecting, and he was darn sure, they wrote D-A-M-N. Don't say that, kids, it's a cuss. He dang sure wasn't scared of Trump. The way to deal with a bully, what a little sissy male, silly dude person. Tim Alberta calling Trump a bully. Trump is not a bully. Only girls use that word anyway. Shout out to the girls and the female-minded liberal males. Licht told his journalists was to confront him with facts. Well, Trump has the truth, and this truth steamrolls over facts, just like JLP and our greatest president Trump do. Pointer on point, Hake. Thank you. Does CNN? Here's this Dan Rather has humiliated himself, although he's not smart enough to be humiliated by his own behavior on Twitter. Does CNN count this as an in-kind campaign donation? He tweeted on Twitter. Longtime broadcaster Dan Rather. Remember, people used to respect Dan Rather? Oh, at least in my opinion, I sort of saw him as like this respectable man. And then I find out he's a dumb liberal. Shout out to the dumb liberals. Don't say dumb too much, kids. Dang and darn are about the same, Hake. Yeah, I know. But I learned darn before I even learned that it was instead of damn. And I knew that damn meant God send this to hell. But anyway, Dan Rather's comment was quite gentle, was gentle compared to the torrent of criticism aimed at CNN. Ready to call it, this was a terrible idea, said so-called conservative writer Ramesh Ponnuru. Doesn't sound like a nice white American conservative name. That's what he tweeted. A terrible idea. How so? Just 9 minutes into the event. He might be thinking that Trump was doing bad at the beginning, because people were thinking Trump did it bad at the beginning. I don't know. CNN should be ashamed of themselves, tweeted Democrat Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Sandy Cortez. CNN should be ashamed of themselves. Ashamed of themselves because they put an American representing American views. Give me a break, evil woman. She's the socialist, right? This is an absolute joke, tweeted former Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger, anti-Trump hater. Give me a break. You're an absolute joke, Adam Kinzinger. Maybe not an absolute joke. Adam Kinzinger is the anti-Trump rhino. He wants to weed out white supremacy in the Republican Party. That's why he quit. He quit being a representative because he couldn't hack it under Trump being the greatest president. He is a Air Force pilot, I think. He has a punchable face, which I disavow calling faces punchable, but his face is kind of punchable. But he's white, so we like him. But no, we like everybody. I'm just playing around. Adam Kinzinger, he's silly, mostly. He married this Hispanic gal who was Mike Pence lady. I've told you these stories many times. Okay, one more comment. Chris Licht is rapidly becoming the Elon Musk of CNN. So tweeted the Bulwark's Charlie Sykes, who's some old has-been, right? Charlie Sykes? Is he an old has-been? Is that fair to say, or is that an insult? I don't want to be insulting. But, well, maybe I do. Does that mean he's awesome and based? Some of you guys say Elon Musk is not based. And I get it. I agree. I use the term loosely. Anyway, when CNN's Chris Licht found me, meaning this journalist, Tim Alberta, female-minded liberal male. You look what this guy looks like. Oh, weird. He's like a young-looking guy, relatively young compared to Hake. Roughly the same age, maybe. When he found me in the lobby commenting on how not boring, oh yeah, he's all, whoa, that wasn't boring, referring to this town hall with Trump. The night had been, how not boring the night had been. It wasn't clear how much of the blowback he'd already seen. This Chris Licht guy, Licht. It was clear that Licht knew this was bad, very, very bad. Republicans were angry at CNN. Not this Republican. Or am I a Republican? I don't know. I'm a Republican. Believe it or not. Oh, I almost cringe. It's kind of like calling myself those people who don't want to call themselves Christian because they're embarrassed of all the Christians. Maybe I shouldn't judge my fellow Republicans just because they're Republicans and rhinos. So I wasn't angry at CNN. Democrats were angry at CNN. Journalists, which are the scum of the earth, were angry at CNN. Worse than gypsies. Shout out to the journalists and gypsies. The only one who wasn't angry, it seemed, was Trump. Most likely because he'd succeeded in disgracing the network on its own airwaves. I really didn't think of CNN as being disgraced. Yeah, she's representing people in America, so-called America. This Caitlin Collins, former co-host to based Don Lemon. I call him based because he bashes the ladies with the truth. But this reminds me so much of, remember years ago, about 10, maybe 12 years ago, roughly, maybe 11, plus or minus, when they got rid of Piers Morgan from CNN. Piers Morgan used to be a host on Commie Nonsense Network. And then I'll get to calls, guys, hang tight. Hake talking about his shallow stuff. Joel comes on here preaching a beautiful, awesome, deep monologues, relatable. And then Hake talking about junk. That's all right. We all have our lane, our specialty, our forte. This reminds me of when they got rid of Piers Morgan on CNN, Commie Nonsense Network. Piers Morgan's that foreigner who hates the Second Amendment. He's a girly man. He kicked JLP off of Good Morning Britain. Good Morning Britain. That doesn't even roll off your tongue. For saying that Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of black radical lesbians. And worse than the KKK, he said, you're descending in some very ugly language, meaning the truth. So he kicked JLP off. He's interviewed JLP a couple of times. But he platformed on CNN after one of those, mass shootings. They scapegoat the gun and the gun owners and NRA and stuff. Pro-gun guys. Alex Jones of Infowars.com, my competitor. Alex Jones got on there with Piers Morgan and went off. That was my introduction to Alex Jones. And maybe even Piers Morgan. Because Alex Jones went off. You know about the helicopters. You know this and that and this and that. And Piers Morgan was pretending to be like the calm one. Pretending to be all calm and collected and make Alex look like he was a wild and crazy and going off. Which he was a bit wild and crazy and going off. But Piers Morgan was phony too. Made himself look bad too. Trying to act like he was this calm one. He platformed John R. Lott Jr., PhD. John Lott. I reference him quite a bit. A lot. L-O-T-T, though. Crime Prevention Research Center. He's been on the JLP show a number of times. crimeresearch.org. He platformed, I believe, Alan Gottlieb of Second Amendment Foundation. The guy with he's like a boomer or maybe older. He wears a bow tie But that's just because he's smart, okay? He's like Tucker Carlson. He's smart. It's not because he's black. Those blacks wear bow ties because they don't want to wear the noose, the long ties, because they think it's like a noose. I think Alan Gottlieb wears bow ties. Larry Pratt, I think, of Gun Owners of America. He even interviewed Ben Shapiro, Gun Owners of America, greater than. Is this a greater than or less than sign? I don't know. Greater than. I'm trying to do the greater than sign. I think this is greater than for you guys. Gun Owners of America, greater than the Rhino NRA. But I do appreciate Wayne LaPierre. Ben Shapiro said, "You're standing on the graves of dead children." And JLP, he's interviewed JLP. So Piers spouted his mess, but it was interesting because he platformed truth tellers, or fact tellers anyway, alternative facts that the mainstream media does not like to tell you. They don't tell you the alternative facts that, oh yes, blacks are more likely to get killed by police, but they don't tell you the alternative fact that, oh, blacks are also more likely to kill police, or attack police, or resist arrest, or commit crimes, or all that stuff. They don't tell you the alternative facts that shed more light on the truth, because the truth is higher than facts. Did you know that? Facts are not truth. So Piers Morgan made CNN interesting, and supposedly ratings were hurting from that. I don't know. Just like Chris Licht made CNN interesting by bringing Trump on with an awesome Trump crowd. That was cool. Ben Shapiro, barfy face, throw up face emojis. Oh, come on. Don't throw up at the sound of Ben Shapiro's name. Terrible. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too long. That was my coverage of the guy getting ousted. I don't even know. He sounds like he's white. Chris Licht. Oh, I have the headline. You want to show the headline? I don't know if you showed it. Let me just show it to you guys. The far left Atlantic article it's in the main folder. Atlantic meltdown CNN. There it is. Zoom in on that face of Chris Licht. What a Chad. They got rid of their Chads. They got rid of Don Lemon. I disavow calling Don Lemon a Chad, I guess. They got rid of Chris Licht. Somebody hire him. Daily Wire, hire him. It's Licht, says spoiler alert. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, that's a nice photograph and nice treatment, black and white. They made it all dramatic. There was a gal up in NorCal who took photos of JLP and Hake and others of us and gave that effect as well. Talented photographer lady. I wonder if she's the one who took this photo. Photographs by Mark Peterson. Okay, I guess not. He felt he was on a mission to restore the network's reputation for serious journalism. How did it all go wrong? Well, serious journalism, if they really mean being a journal of what people are thinking and saying and being about, that was what he was doing. So, Chad Don Lemon. Yeah. But Don Lemon said that when women at 40, women are past their prime. Okay. Let me get to William in California. He's been on hold forever, patiently waiting. William in California, thank you for calling, man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. What's going on, man?
Hanging out, having fun, standing in front of my extra dark background on this beautiful new TV.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
And what did that shirt say? What's that?
Unapologetic American Patriot.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I found it on the internet when I was looking to make a custom shirt saying Free George Zimmerman way back 10 years ago.
Right.
So, yeah, I like it. It's a nice, thick, heavy red print and thick, heavy white print. It's cool.
Cotton.
Oh yeah, 100% cotton.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a pretty nice one. I'm looking at it.
Cool, man.
That's pretty nice. Unapologetic. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I shout out to the boomers. I got that from the boomers. The Tea Party. This is like Tea Party days.
Yeah, the Tea Party. Yeah, remember them?
Yep.
Yeah, the Tea Party. The atmosphere on the ground, James. I called to talk about the atmosphere on the ground.
Yeah.
Agent 005, James.
005. Why am I 005?
Yeah.
Like 007, right?
005. It sounds good.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I accept it.
The atmosphere on the ground, I see up there north of you, off of Highway 2.
Oh, yeah. North and a little bit.
Glendale, California.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's happening, man? It looks like some people getting ready to start talking about messing with my kids.
Yeah.
And it looks like the parents was out there taking care of some business up there yesterday.
They definitely want. It might have been 2 days ago because I covered it. But maybe yesterday too. I wasn't paying attention. I only get my news from CNN. But
right.
Yeah, there was Armenians, especially Armenian parents.
Yeah, Armenian. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do not like. Some Armenians are dumb liberals. Just look at the Kardashians.
Well, yeah. But I mean, we're talking about something else right here. We're talking about people's kids.
Yeah.
And
they're not for this.
I'm agitating. I take my cousin called from Long Beach. That
nice.
area.
Right on.
It's very black.
It is.
So
Strong
I
beach.
said, well, what you guys think about these teachers that are messing with these kids with this madness?
Yeah.
Rainbow. And, the way he was brought up is a little bit street, so him and his friends are like the kind of guys that are affiliated. So I said, look, what do you think about that? He said, what you talking about, Will? What you talking about, Will? I say, man, this, that, and the other, and the rainbow, and classroom, and the little kids. And now, this is where I'm going with this. I'm waiting for South Central, Fillmore, Oakland. I don't know why blacks support the left. Everything they support is about the alphabet and not you.
Yeah.
You're getting nothing.
True.
And they're getting everything. But I had to give these guys up in Glendale some props, man. It was up there getting down. My boy called from Texas. He said, turn the TV on, man. It's about to go down. I'm like, where? He said, Glendale. They taking care of business. They throwing the rainbow everywhere.
It's interesting, your take on this, that this is like a good thing. Because I don't want to take it. I don't want to.
No.
Yeah, this violence is not good.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah. It's just spreading anger.
It's looking like they're returning. Wait a minute. It looks like, and they're bringing up the name Harvey Milk in the school books. Now I'm like, that's a name that when I was 18 was around. And I don't know about no 6-year-old kid sitting up reading about nobody honoring Harvey Milk.
They do it though. They've been doing it.
Yeah, so that's what I told my cousin. I said, man, they've been doing this. And a lot of the blacks in there, do you know they don't know this?
The blacks don't know it. Yeah, I believe that they don't know it because they don't really know.
Know. I'm telling you, he did like this. What you talking about, fool? They teaching as a who? I said, your kid.
Yep.
He said, really? I said, turn the news on. It's going down in Glendale. Speaking of Glendale, the beginning of your show, you show this backdrop. Sometimes it's the beach, and sometimes it's in the hills.
Oh, yeah.
Like a walking trail.
Yep.
Where is that at?
That was actually up north of Sierra Madre on the Mount Wilson Trail.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sierra Madre is just east of Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's going towards Mount Wilson.
Got a bunch of canyons.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I got out there on Memorial Day. We took a half day, and I thought about the fallen soldiers and and took a nice walk and recorded it for the enjoyment of the Hake Report viewers. Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. But we also have a couple other things that happened. Isn't there a songwriter, a team? One girl's a model and one is a musician, and the two of them are pretty popular with the young crowd. They got caught at on federal charges crossing the border with cocaine.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to talk about January 6th charges or something, because there's been some famous people charged with that.
Well,
still.
that's another subject. But
Yep.
They got caught. But then what about the girl up in Washington State, Karen Johnson? She's on the state board of something. She just got fired for creating a racist atmosphere amongst the employees.
And that was in
Johnson.
Washington?
Washington State.
Karen Johnson. First, the state's, is this the one who was the first Office of Equity Director?
Yeah, that would be her.
Terminated from her job after an investigation of her conduct revealed several complaints about her conduct, including a perceived to be evidence of bias against Mexicans. Oh, Lord. Washington State Equity Director fired after complaints of racist.
You go broke. It's starting to end.
And fat shaming a colleague.
Yep.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
Well, I don't understand why.
Oh, she was black.
Yeah, of course she was black.
Of course, exactly. Because black ladies and gentlemen speak their mind, which is one thing that I really like about the blacks. I wish that all people were a little more like that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's out of place, of course, but
sometimes.
But generally, they speak their mind, which that's something that I appreciate.
When they know the truth. Now, this is the whole killer thing about black people. Once they know the truth, if it's something that they've been supporting for a long time,
yep.
Like in this case, the Democratic Party.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say this, shout out to your callers that are around 50 to 60, that like Rick, and there's another one up in Illinois. They kind of know. We are all that age that it is kind of fake, and not all black people supported all of that Martin Luther King and radical stuff. They didn't really, there's a lot of blacks that didn't support that. And they just went on about their business and took care of their lives themselves.
Uh-huh.
And they were individuals. Those people are not spoke about that much.
Yeah.
And are actually resented in so many ways. Because they knew at once upon a time, there were a lot of blacks that felt that this was a very socialist situation, this civil rights and Martin Luther King and all that.
Yep.
And there were a bunch of blacks that didn't actually engage in neither one.
Yeah, very true.
The radical left Panthers or Martin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There were some that were just, they stepped back and they took care of their prospective lives.
Right. Yeah,
I swear to God, you didn't see certain people engage in all of that stuff. They didn't fall for it. There were some that didn't fall for it.
Yep. Yeah, and now they've brainwashed everybody to act like this was this wonderful thing, and we love MLK. And
I don't mean to offend anybody with this comment. The fact that I will say it 1,000 times, anything under 50 years old. You graduated from a public high school in this country, you were
indoctrinated
badly.
What did you just say? I spoke over you. I said indoctrinated when you said something else.
Oh, I feel that they were severely infiltrated as children for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
And the stuff that you're saying doesn't make any sense. And even the thing about South Africa, South Africa was giving back the land. And they're tearing it up.
Yeah.
They did not get the mineral rights. They did not get the diamonds. Any of the mineral rights. They got none of that.
You mentioned South Africa. I saw footage on Twitter, and I don't have it, but somebody tweeted out something and said South Africa, and it had this white man little bit older, maybe middle-aged, apparently with a knife, and he's like checking both sides of him at his, maybe it's his SUV. It looked like he was carrying a knife. And he's like kind of staving off would-be attackers or would-be who knows what, guys who looked like they were coming for him. And he lunged at one guy, and the guy took off running, and the other guys took off running. But it's so crazy how you have to just defend yourself in South Africa. The crime is so bad, and especially black on white, but black on black too.
They're pretty much pulled out into the areas that they built themselves. These particular white people, that would be the Dutch, I think.
Yeah,
and they gave the land back, but they didn't give the other stuff.
Honestly, giving the land back is a misnomer because it wasn't these blacks' land to begin with. These blacks are from outside that area too.
People.
Yeah, it was
the same thing that's happening over here. These are younger people that had nothing to do with Mandela or anything prior to that. So it's kind of fake like it is here.
Yeah.
They get triggered. They get upset when you don't agree with them. And I'm sorry, there's just a lot of people that don't believe in what you're saying. And like I said, if you go woke, you're going to end up going broke.
Yeah,
look at this lady.
maybe.
She had a pretty good position. I can't imagine how much she was getting paid up there in Washington State for that job.
I put in a picture of her.
There's a picture of her.
Yeah, Karen Johnson, Washington, WA, Equity Director. If you refresh the main folder there, I put in a picture of her. But you're right. These older school people, as JLP mentioned, and
I know them. Look, James, you
Uncle
don't realize, especially some of these
Tom
females that are that age. I went to school with them, and they are worn out. They got skin under their arm, and it shakes.
Terrible.
And they got weaves, and they got their hair tied as it can back with a bun tied on their pony, something like fake on the end. And they are evil.
Yeah.
They're evil.
Right.
They're evil. I don't know what's wrong with them. We don't mess with them. That's
not her natural hair.
And you kind of hard on the light-skinned brothers, too. I want to let you know.
Yeah, I am. Are you light-skinned?
You kind of hard on us. You hard on us, bro. You're hard on us.
Yeah, but you're not. Well, you don't come off as compensating with the anti-whiteness. Some of those light skins are some of the most radical anti-white, pretending to be pro-black.
I'm not against white people, but I'm damn sure ain't sitting up there allowing you to make yourself that. What do you call it? It's like I don't give white people, especially the ones I know, they don't act like that. Because I don't give nobody an automatic pass that you're that superior over me where I have to be a victim to you. I don't surrender to that.
Yeah. I appreciate it, William. Great call, man. Take care.
Yeah, that's her right there, isn't it?
Yep, that's her.
Yeah.
Poor lady.
She got a wig.
Yeah, I guess that's not natural, huh?
She's worn out.
Well, thanks again, man. Good to hear from you.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Yes. Show that headline of this gal. She was ousted for, what was it? Complaints of racist comments and fat shaming a colleague. This is a Fox News headline. Michael Lee wrote it. Former Office of Equity Director. There should be no equity director. Allegedly said she had a distrust of Mexicans. Huh. Why would anybody have a distrust of Mexicans? Maybe some Mexicans can tell me why one might have a distrust of Mexicans. Allegedly said she distrust. So this woman got ousted for being a little bit down to earth. Nasty woman, probably though. Karen A. Johnson. That's not a real name, says Luminiferous. What do you mean? But yeah, William talked about how the old school blacks, the parents, the grandparents during the so-called civil rights thing, they weren't falling for that. It was the young whippersnapper suckers. Young whippersnapper suckers like evil John Lewis. Rest in peace, I guess, right? Rest in power. Dumb. Blacks. Rest in power. Liberals. Communists say rest in power. Somebody said rest in paradise to Pat Robertson. I'll talk about him in a bit. But Yeah, they weren't for that. They knew that these people were no good. This so-called civil rights. No such thing as civil wrong. Well, guys, we're approaching the top of the hour. I'm going to cover this dead coon. Raccoon, that is, raccoon. I disavow the C word, I guess, for the sake of my channel. And don't say that too much, kids. I disavow it for the sake of the kids because they don't want to. You don't want them to say it in a wrong place and time, you know. Reminds me of Jackie Chan saying, "What's up, my N-word, gah," and getting punched. I don't want trouble. Speaking of Chinese, now is time for some Chinese music. It's June. We're going strong. We're taking back June. We love June. Love is Not a Bird is the name of this song. Or maybe it's called Lovebird. I think it might be Lovebird. Ching Mei Niu. Or Ching Wei Niao. Ching Wei Niao. By Andy Lau from 1995. Hope you like this song. Oh, I'm going to give you the video. You can cover your ears and sing La La La. You can press mute, or you can grin and bear it, you musical Philistines. Or you can go outside, shovel snow, rake your leaves, plant your garden, harvest your crops, or crack the whip and have the help do it. But I'll be right back for hour 2. Love is Not a Bird, or Lovebird. You take your pick, by Andy Lau. And I'll be right back. Enjoy. Apologies if it's a little quiet. Chinese. Andy Lau. Guy in the video simping? Probably. That's Andy. I think. He's an actor too. Don't do that at home, kids. You can't fly. Oh, he did fall. That bird got a royalty check and then eaten, says Kevin Howe. The bird at the beginning. Wasn't that nice? Andy Lau, singer and actor, Mr. China extraordinaire. Hope you enjoyed it, ya musical Philistines. Thank you for bearing with me through it. Let me read a few super chats while I'm here looking at your chats. Over on Rumble, a Rumble rant from Evil is Still Real. Sissy male, huh? All sissies are male. Sissy is a pejorative term for a boy or man who does not demonstrate masculine traits and shows possible signs of fragility. Female sissies are girls. Oh, well, thank you. Redundancy. Hake likes redundancy more than anybody. It's one of my weaknesses. I have a weakness for redundancy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Evil is Still Real. Barf Boy. I don't like that name. But he bought me a coffee, so I love it. I love it. Awesome name. And said, such and such person, whom I shall not name, would make a great prison wife. Whoa, I disavow. But thank you. Attacking my my collars. Not this collar. Is this considered a collar? Do t-shirts have collars? But thank you, Barf Boy, for the coffee on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, saying such and such, and hopefully I don't slip and say the actual name the person said, would make a great prison wife. I disavow such fantasies, or whatever you want to call it. I guess that's not the right word. I think it's a joke. Such dark, dirty jokes. Delilah bought a coffee on Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/The Hake Report. I like Ko-Fi. I wish that it was easier to say, that I didn't have to say hyphen, okay? I wish I could just say K-O-F-I. But no, they put a hyphen in it and they make me say hyphen when I'm telling you guys the URL. I don't like the word pet peeve. It is a bother to me to have to say hyphen. Don't make me say hyphen. That's partly why I don't like creator-spring. I like to just say Teespring. Anyway, Mini Mike running for president, according to Delilah. Surprise emoji. Mini Mike, you mean Mike Pence? That traitor fake, she spells it Trader, like he trades. Trade ya. Traitor, fake Christian, better sit down. Ain't nobody voting for his jealous AZZ. Sit. Chair emoji. Fancy chair emoji. Looks kind of like a oh wow, airplane seat. For a second I thought it was a dentist's chair emoji. Sit with two chair emojis down, Mini Mike. And she's going after Mike Pence hard. Aw. Ah. Whoa. Aggressive language there, Delilah. But thank you for the coffee. And yeah, I mean, maybe he's kind of a... Is it fair to say he's a fake Christian? A lot of us are. I guess we should just say, yes, fake Christian. Spoiler alert, says Hake. FYI, Ko-Fi now has so-called pride stuff on their personal page. Ugh. Hashtag buy me a coffee. I should go back to buy me a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/ let me see, Nightwave Radio. The reason I went to Ko-Fi was because Nightwave Radio got banned there. You must be 18 plus to view this account. I'm 18 plus. I'm 18 times 3 almost. Okay, he's back on Ko-Fi. I mean coffee. Buy me a coffee. Okay. I'm sure buy me a coffee's dumb liberals LGBT supported mess too, degenerate. But yeah, take your pick. I'm not too picky. Buymeacoffee.com. It's easier to say, but it's more letters, more characters. But anyway, yeah, Mike Pence. I wasn't so angry at him like you guys were. If it's fair to call you guys angry at him. Maybe I cut him too much slack. I'm a softie. Terrible. I thought that he would be I thought that he should be vice president again. I liked him up until the end when he didn't do what Trump wished that he would have done. 18 times 3 is 54, Hake. Says Nugget Man. Oh, yeah. Getting there. Okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see if I make it. Some of us may see if I make it. All right. Thank you guys for the super chats. Danimal, I don't know if I read this one yesterday on Streamlabs, said, you just can't beat the Hake Report. Shout out to listeners, chat, and crew. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Danimal. Appreciate that. And if I read that yesterday, well, that wasn't so bad, was it? All right. Let's talk Pat Robertson. That's it, his name, right? Not to be confused with that based guy who ran for president, who also ran for president, I should say, Pat Buchanan. Pat Robertson, not to be confused with Pat Buchanan. Pat Buchanan was not a fan of our support for Israel in the way that we're so supportive of Israel, meaning we being the United States. The rhinos and the demon rats and the Republicans and Trump too. But Pat Buchanan was more of a paleo conservative, a la Vincent James, real Vincent James. But anyway, Pat Robertson was a Christian, perhaps even to this day in heaven. Maybe.
To this day.
Thank you. CBN News tweeted. I have some screenshots from the tweet, some article and pictures of this guy, Pat Robertson. With great sadness, we announced that Dr. M.G. Pat, quote unquote, Robertson, has gone home to be with his Lord and Savior today, June 8th, 2023. They left out the AD, but CBN, I don't think that they're atheists or anti-God or anti-Christian. So we'll cut them some slack. Thank you for your prayers for the Robertson family and the ministry of CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, at this time. Will they go astray like Christian Post or Christianity Today or whichever one of those liberal so-called Christian outlets was founded by Billy Graham, and now it's just dumb liberal? Or was Billy Graham liberal? Who knows? For more details on Pat's life and legacy, go to go.cbn.com/Pat Robertson T. So I went there honoring Pat Robertson, 1930, March of 1930 to June of 2023, 93 years old. Witness to a God-sized, world-changing dream, they write. And so this guy, let me tell you a little bit about him. Just sort of interesting. Our predecessors, if you will. Born Marion Gordon Robertson. There's no Patrick or Pat in his name, or Patrice or anything. In Lexington, Virginia, March 22nd, 1930. The nickname Pat was given him by his older brother. Sticking with that moniker rather than his birth name was the first of many conventions he would defy during his lifetime. Look at him. Doesn't he look like a Chad? Go to 3. Go to number 3. He doesn't look like such a Chad as an older man. He looks fine. No problem. But doesn't he look sort of like a Chad? He looks almost like that one guy whom you guys like, George Lincoln Rockwell, a little bit. No? Maybe? So anyway, except that he's smiling. Those Christians all smiley. The Yale-educated lawyer and son of a U.S. senator, Pat Robertson, Marion Gordon, M.G. Pat Robertson, had hoped to become a successful businessman. In his 1972 autobiography, at 42 he wrote a autobiography, Shout It from the Housetops. I guess because he'd become pretty successful. He wrote about his dream of living the life of a New York socialite. He wanted to be a socialite. The only other socialite I've ever heard of is that one gal. How do you say her name? The one who hung out with the Epstein. Anyway, it's not important. Female. I didn't know that men could be socialites. But anyway, his path took a decidedly different turn in the 1950s when he became a born-again Christian. 1960, after moving his wife and kids to Virginia, he created what would become the Christian Broadcasting Network with no more than $70 to his name and a company bank account with a meager $3 initial deposit. That's when money was worth something, though, I will have you know. I don't know if that's his wife. It might be. I've seen an older picture of his wife. She died a year or so ago. 1960, he moved his wife and kids to Virginia and started that thing. In 1966, Pat Robertson began hosting a daily talk show, The 700 Club. Ever heard of it? Still on air today, to this day. Indeed, it is one of the longest running programs in television history. Oh, he looks like my cousin there. Looks sort of like my cousin-in-law there. In this number 5 I'm looking at right now. Except those big old, oh my goodness. Big old sideburns. From the set of the 700 Club, he transformed Christian television. His reach went far beyond spirituality. In the 1970s, Pat Robertson describes himself as a newsman, once described himself as a newsman at heart, kind of like Hake. He had secured interviews with military and political leaders such as Yitzhak Rabin, Israel's prime minister, and Jimmy Carter, who was then Georgia's governor and would win the White House, black on the inside, White House, with the support of evangelical Christians. What suckers voted for Jimmy Carter? 4 years later, Pat Robertson was part of the conservative leadership that helped propel Ronald Reagan to the White House in 1980. In 1988, Robertson ran for the president himself, stunning the political world with his second-place finish in the Iowa caucuses, back when the country was still residually Christian, right? Residually, nominally Christian. He shattered the stained glass window, said this black Bishop T.D. Jakes. Psst, Bishop, Lord. In a pastor of Potter's House phony church in Dallas. I know some people who went to Potter's House. They're some of the craziest. Shout out to the crazy blacks, Potter House. People of faith were taken seriously beyond the church house and into the White House. Reverend Pat Robertson. Although he lost the 1988 Republican nomination to George H.W. Bush the Daddy. See, I I didn't hear about Bush. I'm disavowing. Back in the day, you may know that when I was in second grade, I told my mother, and I didn't know better than women voting, right? I was raised that way. I told my mother and father, I guess, to vote for Bush, because my teacher in second grade told me that Bush was like Reagan. But I don't know for whom they voted back for the primaries. I didn't hear about him during the primaries. I heard about him when it was already, he was the candidate. Bush the daddy was the candidate. So don't blame me for us getting Bush the daddy for a little 7-year-old Hake telling his mother to vote for Bush, telling a woman. I was just a kid, and I didn't know, about Pat Robertson running against him. Would he have been a better president? Probably. Who knows? Pretty sure. Don't know. With his return to CBN after the failed campaign, you get some notoriety, though. Pat Robertson took the company globally, dramatically extending the reach of the ministry's Christian programming to over 150 countries in more than 100 languages through satellite technology. Ever heard of it? Satellite. It's new. Through his career, his influence was measured in part by his social and political commentary, which garnered both praise and criticism because people hated him. Robertson had so many base takes. We watch any clips? I don't have any clips for you. But yeah, listen to this. I was always impressed with his boldness, commented Franklin Graham. Ever heard of him? Franklin Graham, son of the late Reverend Billy Graham. He did it in a nice way. He wasn't offensive, but he spoke truth, and that offended people when you speak truth. But that's okay, said Franklin Graham, who's nice, inoffensive, sometimes somewhat offensive. I remember he rolled over when questioned about whether Obama was a Christian. At least he's like, I don't know, he doesn't seem very Christian to me, Obama. Franklin Graham, I'm talking about Billy Graham's son. And then he's like, well, he says he's a Christian. I can't see it. And then he's kind of rolled back and apologized. Oh. But anyway, we appreciate Franklin Graham. Robertson served as chancellor of Regent University, a Christian college he founded in Virginia Beach, Virginia, 1977, whose motto is to produce Christian leadership to change the world. I wonder where Regent University is now. You can see him all old and kind of leaning over in this number 9, Regent, dressed all like graduate robes. I don't like those robes. In his later years, he suffered several health setbacks, including the horseback riding accident 2017 and a stroke in 2018, but returned to the 700 Club set 10 days after his embolic stroke, February 12th, 2018. I'm kind of like an old car. They just keep putting parts in, he joked. Isn't that nice? After they give him a pacemaker. He stepped down as daily host of the 700 Club on the 60th anniversary of his ministry, but frequently made appearances. Well, isn't that nice? Oh, despite his declining health and losing the love of his life, in April of 2022, Dee Dee, his wife, I guess that's how you say her name, of nearly 70 years, she died a year before him. Nice! Nice! The man outlived the woman for once. Yes, based. Christian men outlive their wives. Am I right? Or am I right? Shout out to the wives, who generally mostly outlive their husbands. And the husbands who die before their wives. Terrible. Death. So he left behind 4 children, Tim, Elizabeth, Gordon, and Ann. 14 grandchildren, 24 great-grandchildren, and thousands across the CBN so-called family of domestic and international ministries. So he did his part making the white babies, right? He was aight, says R. Galunas. CBN was lit. Well, guys, that's that for Pat Robertson. founder of the Christian Coalition. Ever heard of it? 93 years old. Not too bad. Not too bad. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll have to dig up clips maybe. Somebody send me clips. I don't know. That's okay. Whatever. Let me get to a call or two, guys. Marty in California is on the line. How you doing, Marty?
What's up, James?
Hey.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Nice to hear from you. It's been a little while.
Yes.
How you
So
been?
guess what? I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
So
I'm letting it
40 on
slide
Monday.
saying you're good. I'm letting it slide.
Oh, I'm well.
Nice.
Just put it.
Right on.
Okay, I'm turning 40 Monday.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope you make it. And
I hope I make it.
happy early birthday.
Thank you, sir.
That's a nice age.
And-
See, we like June because June has awesome birthdays. Isn't President Trump's
Yeah.
birthday in June as well? Flag Day?
I'm sorry?
President Trump, I think his birthday is Flag Day.
His is 2 days after mine.
Okay, all right. So he's younger than you.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I hope you've been well, Marty.
Everything's been going good. I've been going to physical therapy.
Good.
I'm starting to get some feeling in my arm, but it still kind of hurts every now and then.
Yeah. Well, I definitely wish you well. We're pulling for you.
Thank-
Whatever that
thank
means, we're
you.
pulling. Yeah. It's nice to hear from you. Well, so, happy birthday, happy early birthday. You're not depressed, are you?
Oh no.
Nice. Cool.
I don't take that seriously.
Yeah. Good.
I just suck it up and deal with it.
Yep. That's how you got to do
Remember
it.
when Jesse can say that they give you these pills and stuff like that, he's like that's all they want you to do. I don't do that.
Oh, good. So you're
I just suck it up and deal with it.
Oh, wow. Sometimes the pills help, though. Don't disavow all pills. I mean, do what you want, of course, but don't be too crazy with that.
The thing is, sometimes the doctors, they don't prescribe the right ones.
Yeah, I totally believe that. Yeah, JLP makes the great point that people are afraid to question their doctors, and that's your life that you're talking about, and your body, which is not your own. It's the temple of God. But
that's exactly true.
yeah, so yeah, definitely do what you see is right, but do what you see is right, not what you imagine is right.
I choose not to take it. I just choose to suck it up and deal with it.
Okay, cool. I respect that.
Well, happy early birthday to you too. I know your birthday's next month.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna be 42. Can you believe it? If I make it. Hopefully I do.
You will make it. Look, I made 40.
Nice. Well, you haven't yet. You're on your 40th year.
I will.
Yeah, you will.
I will.
We speak in faith.
You'll be hearing
Hopefully.
from me soon.
We're pulling for you. We're pulling for you. Make it to Monday. Cool.
I'll make it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, we always appreciate your support, Marty, and it's always nice to hear from you.
Thank you, James. I love you guys. You guys
All right.
take care and have a good weekend. And then I'll send you guys some more appreciation from me.
Cool. Thanks again. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Marty in California. Mari. It's pronounced Marty. She's like Spanish or something. Anyway, let me get to Trick in Montana. Hey, Trick in Montana. How you doing, man? Are you there?
Doing great, Big Jim Hake. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Where are you from originally, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I'll answer because then I can pull a disavow like you always do.
Okay.
So, I'm originally from the Twin Cities area in Minnesota.
Oh, wow. That is Twin Cities. That means
Yeah, around St. Paul.
St. Paul, Minnesota, and Minneapolis. Is that the other twin?
Minneapolis. Yep.
Okay. See,
Yep,
I know a
that's
little
the
bit.
twins.
Okay.
And Yep, right around that area.
And you're disavowing the Twin Cities, St. Paul. St. Paul is better than Minneapolis.
I fact. That's true.
Nice.
Very true. Different culture.
I only say that because I've heard more about Minneapolis, and Minneapolis has, where they had the Black Lives Matter riots and stuff like that. So anyway,
the Floyd stuff and
the
home of Chris.
Oh no, you're breaking up a bit there. What did you say? Let me put you on hold, Trick. We're gonna fix your phone. Check on his phone. Man. Okay, this is funny. Speaking of liberal, goofy, fake, black victimhood mumbo jumbo nonsense, I will get back to Trick. This dead raccoon. I laugh, but rest in peace to the raccoon. That's messed up. Hopefully they didn't myrtleize this raccoon. Washington Post. So hopefully Trick can call back or something. We'll see. Let me see. Where did I get this? I have pictures of it. I have two pictures. Coon. Oh, oops. Well, raccoon. It was short for raccoon, okay? In the good old days, the C word, coon, raccoon. Literally a raccoon at a mayor's law office of Redmond, Oregon. This cracked me up when I saw it. Just because raccoons are so cute. I didn't know he was dead, though. It's sad. Don't be too disturbed, children or ladies. But the mayor, at least it was a man, Ed Fitch of Redmond, Oregon, found a dead raccoon in a supposedly hateful message taped to his door, I think his office door, Monday that named Clifford Evelyn. Clifford Evelyn. So don't call him by his last name, right, Evelyn? I'm thinking Evelyn, that's a woman's name, but it's his last name. The city's only black, and they capitalized the B in the word black. Like simps, kissing up to the blacks ever since Georgia, Florida, the fake Black Lives Matter mumbo-jumbo nonsense. Councilman. Mayor finds dead raccoon and a racist note naming black councilman outside his office. The Washington Compost writes, Ed Fitch, the mayor of Redmond, Oregon, stopped in shock when he arrived at his law office Monday morning. Somebody had taped a sign with a handwritten message on the door. And you can see, excuse me, some of the handwritten message. Smoky skies in New York making me cough. Even though I'm in LA here, Los Angeles. Alongside it, propped against the doorway, was a dead raccoon. I wish that they had quoted the entire message so that we would know what it said. And the pretense is that a white did it, or the assumption by some is that a white man did it. It's a 90% white town. Is this a fake hate crime hoax again? Is it even a crime? It's sort of not good to put a dead animal in front of a door. It's not good. Maybe it should be a crime, if it's not a crime. But taping a message, that's not a crime, I don't think. Unless it leaves some damage. Then you could call it vandalism, but that's a stretch. Anyway, it looked like the raccoon had bled out right there, said Ed Fitch, Mayor Ed Fitch, to the Washington Compost. Ed Fitch was more alarmed by the content of the message above the raccoon corpse. Oh, Lord. I'm more alarmed at the dead raccoon corpse. Well, I don't know what the content of the message is because Washington Compost has not told me yet. Fitch and Redmond Police Department said they were withholding the specific text. What? But that it contained intimidating language. It named Fitch and Clifford Evelyn, Redmond's first and only black city council male. Redmond police are investigating the incident as a possible hate crime. What? Makes me want to spit. notion of a hate crime. Stupid. The department said in a news release, Evelyn, real name Clifford Evelyn, the black city councilman, male, who reviewed the sign, told the Washington Compost the message was clear. The dead raccoon evoked a slur for black people, mostly used by other black people, liberal black people, or hate-filled black people against blacks who don't hate whites enough for their taste. That's what that is. He saw the message as a racist threat. It's not unexpected for me, said Clifford Evelyn. Evelyn is 72 years old, grew up in Harlem, New York, and moved to Redmond, Oregon in 2017 after so-called serving in the Navy, and then as an officer in Washington's Sheriff's Department, a Washington State Sheriff's Department, I guess. The scenic town of around 36,000 in Central Oregon. That's what Redmond, Oregon is. 36,000. That's not that, They blurred out the raccoon. I wish we could decipher what this text said, but I would probably disavow it. Knowing me, right? For the sake of my channel especially. The scenic town of around 36,000 in Central Oregon, popular with tourists and hikers, was an ideal place to retire. This Clifford Evelyn Black, 72-year-old, said he hadn't planned on getting involved in local politics, but ran for a spot on the city council after the encouragement of other residents. What? He became the city's first black city council so-called person. in city councilman in Redmond's history after he won his race in 2020. The decline of that beautiful white town. The town is around 90% white, according to census data. I wonder if it was much higher before that. The history Clifford Evelyn made, oh, you made history. It wasn't lost on him, of course, because he's all into being black. And he said his goals in office have been to welcome diversity. What? 72-year-old wanting diversity? Sick. Here's my spittoon. Thank you, the real Mr. Mad. 2. You should know better, 72 years old, sucker. 2. Don't call people sucker too much, kids. And call out intolerance. 2. Dumb boomer. Shout out to the boomers. Even the dumb ones. We love them if we love anybody. The display at Fitch's door, this Ed Fitch, reignited frustrations from rabble-rousers that have, I don't know what, rabble-rousers, that have dogged Clifford Evelyn, council male Clifford Evelyn, throughout his time in office, the council male said. I'm calling him council male because he doesn't seem very manly to me. Referencing a previous controversy in 2021. Oh, this guy's been causing trouble before. When a Confederate flag, you know this beautiful rebel flag here? I can show it briefly. This beautiful flag was displayed at a parade. The city's Independence Day parade. What can be more independent than the beautiful South getting independence from the oppressive North? I don't want to call them evil. Maybe they are evil. So he... Flag flown by Scott Stewart of Conservative People's Rights Organization. Redmond resident Kara Frank said she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw a large Confederate flag billowing in the wind as the Redmond's 4th of July parade went past her home on Sunday. The flag was held by a man in a Confederate general's uniform. This is from the Bulletin from 2021, I guess. July 6, 2021, by Dylan Jeffries in the Bulletin. Never heard of the... Oh, Bend Bulletin. Bend, Oregon. Psst. Ugh. Kind of reminds me of South Bend, Indiana, where that not morally straight guy was mayor. Pete Buttigieg. Tell you the rest of this story. Beside him stood two men in Union garb, a soldier and a scout holding a Union flag, 34 stars, and a Betsy Ross flag, 10 stars. A sign on the side of the float read, "The Constitution is not negotiable." Well, it's already been violated many times, right? On the back read, "Together we stand, divided we fall." So, and maybe it went on, but I'm not sure. Controversy. People are hating the beautiful South. Ridiculous. The beautiful South. I even covered in hopes that I might be remonetized. Pipe dreamer. Clifford Evelyn said, going back to this story about the dead raccoon on the front of his door, said he did not know. See, they were for unity. Unity with the beautiful South. Shaking my head. Clifford Evelyn said he did not know who left the message at Ed Fitch's office this week and that dead raccoon, but that some feel threatened because I'm speaking up. That's not going to deter me, he added. He's speaking up a bunch of evil stuff, in my opinion, it sounds like. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Ed Fitch, the mayor, said the act did not reflect the views of the majority of Redmond's residents, who sent emails, letters, and flowers after the news broke. About the hateful message. I'm wondering if it was a hate crime hoax. Anyway, because whites aren't into the C word, coon. Maybe some are. The old timer. Maybe it was an old timer. Who's just kind of crotchety and angry. Possible pig. Maybe it was a young whippersnapper white. Who knows? We shall see. But maybe it was a black or a gay or a woman. Or an Israeli, Because you know how some Israeli called in fake bomb threats to different synagogues when Trump took office. At Tuesday's scheduled city council meeting, dozens of residents showed up to express support for Clifford Evelyn. Oh, let's feel sorry for this poor 72-year-old black man. Give me a break. I really feel bad for Clifford that he had to endure this kind of treatment, Ed Fitch said. He has had a lot of support, but there are some people there who just can't deal with it. It's on them. It's not on Clifford. Simp of a mayor. Evelyn reminds me of Dale Earnhardt Jr. feeling all sorry for Bubba Wallace because he put out hate and he's catching hate. And I disavow hating on either side, on many sides, right? We should not hate. Tell the truth with love. And I throw my fist in my hand all hard as I can. Clifford Evelyn, this black council male, said Redmond, Oregon is growing in population and diversity. Diversity is evil, usually nowadays, right? As it attracts international tourists, globo homo tourists, and new residents from other states. He said Monday's message was a growing pain from a vocal minority contending with that change and that he wants to continue to fight it. My goal is to welcome anyone it's anyone who wants to come to Redmond, Clifford Evelyn said. Psh, psh. Too. No, we love everybody, right? We spit in love. Daniel Wu wrote this, reporter for Washington Compost. Dan S. Wu on Twitter. Don't harass him, guys. Anyway, so that's that story. Let me get back to Trick. He's from Montana. He's on the line with a better connection, hopefully. Trick, thanks for calling back and holding, man. What's up? Are you there?
Hello, I hope this connection... Yes. Are you there?
Yeah, it does.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. And if you can't hear me, I'll call on a landline next time.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Go for it.
Because I'm out in the outback. I'm in the outback a little bit here in Montana. But couple comments.
All right.
Listened to your show last week with you had a thing with Joy Reid.
Okay.
You know that Joy.
Yeah, black.
And she was Yeah, and I found it really interesting because I was watching it with some low IQ dysfunctional veteran buddies, and the way she pronounced his mom's name, it was so degrading and denigrating. And
whose mom's
I
name?
think she was
You broke
making
up.
a case-
You broke up there. Repeat what you said about who or what was demeaning.
DeSantis.
Oh yes.
Yeah, DeSantis
That's
is
right.
Yeah, yeah, and also her comments about Saxons was fascinating because the very thing she says she's fighting, she was doing it,
Yeah.
and very denigrating, and you could hear it just mocking.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought it was, yeah, I think people of goodwill can see that, and she needs to up her game, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it was very denigrating.
It was. It was rude. She's so
rude.
so sassy but not in that cute of a way. It's not a very attractive way. It was nasty.
Yeah, I don't think she's sassy. I think she's crassy.
Yeah,
I think
crass. Crass is a good word for it, man. Shout out to the Gen Xers and boomers who have a better vocabulary than Hake. Yeah, it was she has a nasty fake cutesy attitude. She calls Tucker Carlson Tuckums. What did she call it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. But her attitude makes it ugly. And cuz she's so nasty and hate-filled. Yeah, really bad.
Well, this case it was because you don't degrade someone's grandmama.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis, she was covering how Ron DeSantis was really Italian and maybe Irish, and those people were the lower European, which I'm with her on that. The lower European whites, they're not wasps. And but yeah, she was really, you're right. Crass is I think a good word for her. Joy Reid, MSLSP.
Well, I'm not saying I can't be guilty of it, but she's supposed to be a big shot. She's being mean to DeSantis' grandmama and to all Anglo-Saxon, kind of stereotyping, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's just she's so dismissive and evil towards white men. And even Italian men and Irish men.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're a nasty woman, is what Trump said.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Trump may be onto something. I don't want to be too hard. But there's also something else that we caught on your show yesterday.
Okay.
And we were listening to this dude, and, you've got us all reading the scriptures, Leviticus.
Oh, nice.
And other scriptures.
That's cool.
And, this dude talked about, because my friends, these are, low IQ dysfunctional veterans, and they say, well, we like this Hake, but they have questions about religion, all the denominations. But they heard this story this dude was telling you about. Some dude he had a problem, and he mentioned the name of Jesus, and this dude got catapulted back, right?
Right.
And like a superpower.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a demon
one of my buddies go, yeah, that was the episode. It was yesterday. Uh-huh. And he says to me, because this dude is kind of out there, but he says, he's always talking to me about Kung Fu Jesus. And he said, you got to run this by Hake because he's a Bible teacher. He goes, that sounds like Kung Fu Jesus. I said, well, something went down there where some power came out of this guy.
Yeah, if that story is true.
Dude got catapulted back.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just investigating these matters and talking to you about it.
Right.
But there's one more thing I wanted to share with you, which I think you're going to find interesting.
Okay.
Okay. I pull up my Bible this morning. And I don't go to Leviticus. When you just open it up.
Uh-huh.
And I open it up, and I got to that episode with Judas and Jesus, and Judas is basically getting ready to betray him. But it's right before that. It's the whole thing with that woman who bought or got that oil.
Oh yeah.
And Judas is like, yeah, you could have sold that and gave it to the poor.
Yep.
So Judas is like a social justice gospel. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and Jesus
yeah.
says,
Good
He goes
point.
totally against the social justice. Yeah, he goes against the social justice gospel. And somewhere in Judas' heart, this is my dysfunctional veteran conjecture, he said, this guy can't be this good of a guy. Why is he not taking care of the poor? So, and then he feels like this is just conjecture, but he's feeling like, hey, this guy can't be Messiah. He can't be that great of a guy. He don't care about the poor. But
That's
I
interesting.
think Jesus was saying, basically, he's making a case against the social justice gospel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think you're right about that.
Because that's an interesting thing to... Well, I don't know. You're the expert. I'm just throwing it out there at you.
I'm not that much of
I
an
did think
expert.
that was really, really...
Because there must be a delay on our phones because you pause like a few minutes after, like a second after I talk. But he said the poor you will always have with you, whereas all these people are doing their war on poverty and we're going to eradicate poverty. Liberals, social justice is not justice. Go ahead.
Right. And what I'm saying is the very betrayal of him is tied up in that issue. Just a conjecture, but I thought, wow, I need to run this by Hake.
Yeah.
And because I thought, wow, man, that's powerful because right after that, wham, he goes into betrayal mode. I'm not saying there's cause and effect there, but there's something there that I've never heard. I listen to, I've studied with different types of people. So that was interesting to me.
Yeah,
Very
that's interesting to me too.
And since
man.
you're a Bible expert, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, and I wanted to tell you one other thing. The guys were talking up here with me. Hey, man, it'd be great to have Hake come to Northwest Montana in vacation.
Wow.
But you know who they want to come here? And they literally want to get a fund together. Now, don't take this personally. They like maize. I think they like maize more than you, but they like you. Don't get me wrong. But they love maize. So they're like, we got to get a fund together and take Maze on a tour and get her at an Airbnb and show her the mountains. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right.
These guys like Maze.
She likes to travel, I think. She used to anyway. So.
Well, these guys are serious. They're like, we'll take her on a tour of
That's
the
cool.
national parks.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to. But yeah, the Joy Reid thing I wanted to show you, and this thing about the Bible, and then Kung Fu Jesus. But that's all I wanted to show. Oh, hey, I'm coming to California.
Okay.
I'm coming to California in a week.
All right.
So I'm going to be in the Bay Area.
Oh,
I'm going to check out the Bay Area. So, anyways, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you, Trick. Great to hear from you. Great call. Take care. Trick in Montana called me a Bible expert. Max Rex says, what a R-worded idea. Not aped idea, etarded R-worded idea. Nowadays, the kids know Pig Latin, right? I love Maze too, says Brian over on the YouTube. She's funny. America first, says Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong. Indeed. Nikon says, I love Maze. Yeah, if I love anybody, I love Maze. Right? Right. I got to get to Art in Ohio. He's on the line here. Art from Ohio. How you doing, man?
What's up with Hake? Hey, baby.
Hey.
What's up with Hake?
Not much. Good to hear from you.
What's my white brother doing?
I'm chilling. I was thinking about, a few days ago, I covered how this black guy is running for office with this wild hair and gap tooth, Cornel West, and he wants to play mama to everybody. And I'm like, that's that social justice gospel stuff. And I don't even think that guy's a Christian, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Cornel West.
Man, I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
So check this out. I had a question for you. So, first thing first, what was you saying about we said Pasadena or somewhere in California? William was talking about they had like an uprising against the little flag or something, the LGBTQOPMYS.
Glendale, next to Pasadena, a little bit further west from Pasadena, closer to us. In Glendale, there's a lot of Armenians, And Armenians are family people. They're Christian somewhat, and they're immigrants, and they're more traditional, tends to be, and they don't really appreciate this LGBTIQ plus 2S mess. So, and they don't like it being pushed in schools, but there's a whole lot of females fall for that stuff, and LGBTQ so-called males who gravitate towards the kids, towards careers with the dealing with kids for some reason. So, not good.
What's so confusing to me is how is it that everybody else of a different nationality or a tribe or of a foreign ethnicity knows that ain't right, and the blacks are the last one to figure it out. Like that's so confusing. That's so confusing to me. But for some odd reason, they think just because they get monetary gain from the liberals and the Democratic Party that makes it all right that they teaching a gay agenda or. I
know that a lot of them just don't know what's going on, like the old timer blacks. And then a lot of them will accept anything that the mainstream media is pushing down their throats. You know, like people are, especially people who are encouraged to be angry. You're going to be, when you're encouraged to be emotional, you're going to be gullible and fall for all the wrong things. So maybe that's what it is.
Man, I agree with you, but I don't think that's what it is, man. I think just like you would. Malcolm X and whatnot said he was talking about the liberals back in the day or whatnot, and everybody, all the Negroes and all the blacks was kind of listening and understanding what he was saying back then. So I think that they do. I'm sorry, I think that they do. I think that they.
You might be right. A lot of them do know what's going on, but some of them don't know the extent of how vulgar these people are. That's why Libs of TikTok was doing somewhat of a service on Twitter. But yeah.
So remember I predicted or whatnot. Once they start really figuring out, because I still think the blacks, just like I said, I think they know what's going on. They just they basically sellouts, and they thinking just because it don't affect them or whatnot that it's cool that they're doing a lot of the Democrats with the stuff that they're doing is cool.
Yeah.
But I predicted once a lot of this stuff starts coming out and it starts affecting these liberals face to face, and the liberals start attacking the liberals face to face or whatnot, that the liberal whites and a lot of these woke people or whatnot in these companies, they're gonna start coming after them, the politicians and all of that or whatnot. And I think it's starting to happen right now because a lot of people are starting to get tired of that.
Yeah, it is. People are getting tired of it, and people have said, "Oh, that's a step too far." This transgender thing.
And
go ahead. I don't know if it's going to result in good though, because it's too, like JLP says, two devils fighting.
It ain't. But I was going to ask you. Tell me, I need you because I could have swore on your show we talked about. I thought Walmart was supporting the liberal and the BLM stuff, like all that liberal stuff that was going on. I thought they gave funding or something like that.
I think they did. I think they do. They're basically liberals. They're run by they cower to the liberals, and they are liberals. Man, you know what? I'm. Is this fair of me to do? I gotta go, man. Can you call me tomorrow with this point?
Man, you know I will. Stick to your script. I'll call you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, sounds good, man. Take care.
Bet.
Bye. Let's go ahead and play this last Jacky song. Hopefully it plays. This is supposedly She's Far Away. I guess I should Shazam it. We gotta play some beautiful Chinese music, guys. Shazamming it right now. Okay, I found it.
讓晚風輕輕吹送了落下，我已習慣每個傍晚
Jacky Cheung is so good.
在遠方的他，此刻可知道。
I will read your super chats. I saw them on D Live.
在這半山那天，我知快將要別離，沒說話。望向他，卻聽到他說不要相約，縱使分隔相愛，不會害怕。
So good.
遙遙萬里，心聲有否偏差？正是讓這愛試出真與假。
Wow.
遙遠的他，彷彿這風聲跟我話，熱情若冇變，哪管他滄桑變化。
Isn't this nice? I think so. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you, man. Jacky Cheung.
但這天收到他爸爸的一封信，信裏面說血癌已帶走他，但覺得空虛的心彷彿已僵化。過去是像炮彈，心中爆炸。
Yeah, she's far away.
在這半山這天，我悲痛不已在胡亂說話。夜雨中，只聽到他說不要相約，縱使分隔相愛，不會害怕。人無覓處，心聲有否偏差？正是讓這愛試出真與假。遙遠的他，彷彿這風聲跟我話。 情若冇變，哪管他滄桑變化。
American Anchor, baby, at noon. DJ Onpa with the diamond. You can give this diamond to your prison wife. That's just about. Thank you, man. Luminiferous with the diamond. Alphabet Soup Group.
遙遠的他，因可以再歸家。
So good.
我在夢裏卻始終只有他。
Tommy's
遙
sheep.
遠的他，可知我心中的説話？熱情並冇變，哪管他滄桑變化。
Jacky. Jacky lives.
可以再歸家。我在夢裏卻始終只有他。遙遠的他，可知我心中的説話？
Epic.
情並冇變，哪管他滄桑變化。
She's far away. Sip. Come on, Simba. Let's go home. Thank you guys, and adios, America. Bye.